Fight him in the door. Fight him in the door. He's running. I got a really great comment on the Shield Fighter Guide video from Toligan. They say, great video, you've inspired me to get back to my blocking style that I focused on during early playtests. Which is awesome. Hello. Oh, those are some good blocks. However, all the clips appear not to be high roller, but standard lobbies, so it's looking effective on very novice players. I think that's true. I think a lot of the gameplay I was showing in the Shield Fighter Guide was in normals. That doesn't mean that every player is novice. There's definitely a lot of really skilled players, but I think this comment is correct. There's a lot of footage on normals. I would be curious how much success you get on high roller with bigger gear disparities and generally higher level players. Totally fair question. I'm curious too. I think as I have been developing this strategy, I've been focused on normal lobbies, which gives me a little more wiggle room to make mistakes and play around and kind of refine my blocking technique. GG, guys. But yeah, it's a good question. How viable is a shield fighter, is a blocking first combat strategy in high roller? I think it's kind of a crapshoot. It depends on who you're up against. There can be some pretty significant gear disparities, but generally speaking, I was interested to give it a shot. So I don't normally do this. I don't normally go like full send on a kit. I find that when I really load up on my gear, I'm kind of paralyzed. I get the gear fear for real, and I don't play as well. I don't play as well when I've just got like, you know, super valuable everything. I've got my best gloves, my best jewelry, my best chest, my best pants. It just, me personally, I get in my own head. I play really, really timid. I'm afraid to make mistakes, and it makes me play worse. So, in a lot of my videos, especially the low rolling and high roller videos, like I intentionally go into high roller just with common gear because then I'm not afraid to lose and I can mess around. And generally speaking, I find I'm more comfortable playing from like an underdog position, no expectations. I'm not afraid to lose things. But I thought this was a great comment. I was interested to see, now that I've practiced a bit more with the shield, with blocking, could I build a kit and jump into high roller and, you know, do well, see how it goes? So that's what I did. I took some of the best pieces I had, made a kit, and here it is. Right now I'm working on a bigger guide video. Hopefully it'll be out maybe on the weekend, maybe soon after. Until then, I thought this would be a good kind of interim video to make and release, where I build up a kit, I quickly overview that kit, I jump into high roller, and I put my skills to the test using a shield, using this kind of shield blocking first fighter strategy to see how it goes, to see how well it does, if it does well at all. And I'll provide some post-mortem analysis of the combat. So I'll sit here and pause the video and comment on what I was thinking, what I was doing, because I don't always have a chance to vocalize everything when I'm playing in high roller, just because it's such a stressful environment. So here goes. Okay, this might be the highest dex kit I've ever run. Grand Brigandine on the chest. Chapelle de Fer on the top, with some dex added on. Dex and agility from the gauntlets. Dex in the cloth pants. Dex in the cloak. Dex and move speed in the boots. Could have better jewelry, but just going for it. I'm also stacking buff duration bonus. Buff duration bonus. Buff duration bonus. Buff duration bonus. I have got like, I'm not sure. What do I have? 3, 6, 15, 23, 24, 27, 28. It's like maybe like, I don't know, maybe 30% buff duration bonus. So I'm not sure if that works for my second wind, for my sprint, whatever it is. I'll bring a second campfire just in case. Best kit I've ever run. Let's see what happens. So here we go, dropping into Goblin Caves, High Roller. And from the outset, it seems like we're in the kind of original Goblin Caves layout. I find it's always really helpful to kind of memorize the map configs, just so you know where you are and what your route should be, and where the potential PvP rushes can come from. So I'm happy with how fast my sword is swinging. Like I said, I've never really had dexterity this high before, and those first couple of goblin kills were good just to get calibrated. I'm kind of expecting there to be someone through this door. Like, I'm familiar with this layout of Goblin Caves. I know that there's a spawn that way. So I want to kind of kill these goblins, turn off these lights, and just get ready in case someone comes through that door. And sure enough, plate fighter, dagger plate fighter, a rondel dagger. Okay, I'll pause it there. So, what just happened? I see a player, the first thing I do is the first thing that everyone does, I think, is just you size up the opponent. In this case, I see a plate fighter. I assume it's an agility build, and he's using a dagger. I might be wrong about this, but I think it's a newer kind of meta where fighters are maining daggers. I've seen more Chris daggers in particular being run by fighters, which is interesting. So I've never fought this build before. I've never fought a plate fighter with a dagger. Let's see what happens. He's got the archer on him. Okay, let's pause it there. Okay, so what just happened? He rushes me. I think he's used to rushing down opponents and just straight up like stabbing for victory. So the fact that I could weather his initial onslaught of dagger stabs was good. I was just trying to get calibrated to where the attacks were coming from so I could get my shield in the right place. I was reminded that the rondel is basically straight out stabbing, and I was able to block one or two of his attacks there. Got a couple of hits in myself, and now he's kind of backed off to second wind. He realizes he can't burst me down in one go, and this is a chance for us to kind of reset. He also has the goblin archer on him right now. I've got this mob in my favor. This archer is really helping me out. Here comes his sprint again. He wants to do his difficult strategy, and I block that first attack. I'm able to block a little more reliably now that I've gotten calibrated to the rondel. I hit him. He realizes he can't burst me down, so he's backing off. Okay. So that's kind of mini victory number one, where he just like getting him to retreat was good. I've wasted my second wind. Well, not wasted, I've used my second wind. So I'm not feeling super confident here. But I just had to push anyways. I tried to bait the crossbow and was successful. Oh, I killed you. Wow, man, GG. Okay, let's pause it there. So, what happened there? I was feeling a little more confident that I'd be able to block more of his dagger shots, so I pushed the door. Even though he had his protection pot up, I figured I could get enough blocks and counterattacks in. Decided to try my luck, power through, and came out with a win. Good thing that rondel attacks straight out. It's probably the easiest dagger to block. There's someone right below me here. I gotta be careful. A few moments later. Okay, the next bit of the video, we pick up at the very end of the map. It's the final circle. Time is short. I see the portal stone there. I know there's a fighter on it. I saw the plate fighter come into the room. And I'm surprised to see this rogue. And now I kind of don't know what to do. I know the time is short. I don't know where another portal might be. I don't want to turn my back on this rogue. He misses, so I push him. Okay, I'll pause it there. I feel like because I've gotten used to blocking maces, I'm much more comfortable with vertical strikes, and the stiletto dagger is basically like a vertical strike. It's a very, very fast diagonal vertical strike. And so when I got the block off there, I was feeling pretty confident that I'd be able to block his stiletto attacks. He's healing, so I decide to sprint at him. I really have no plan at this stage. I'm just trying to get this guy out of the picture. I kill him. I'm excited, and I realize I'm actually close to static.
Gotta go for static.
So I gotta bust my ass to static.
Gotta go for static.
This is where the extra dexterity, the manual dexterity, helps with opening doors. Pretty clutch duck jump over the goblin.
Gotta go for static. Gotta go for static.
Oh my god. And I'm home and dry. GG. That was close. So I spawned into the spider nest module. I like this module. I think it's a pretty easy module to defend if you get pushed, I believe. There's some decent loot. Chance to farm the giant spider. I really don't mind spawning here at all.
Push my spiders. Son of a bitch.
I hate you. This map was pretty uneventful until I got to the top left corner of the cave tombs, and I could hear some commotion around the static exit in the neighboring module. Probably in here. That's the book. Okay, let me pause it there. So, from the door I heard someone. I knew someone was here. And then as I came into the room to see who it was, I heard the book. And that is music to my ears. It means that I've got a chance to use my sprint, close the gap, deal some quick burst damage, while my opponent transitions from the book to whatever else they're going to be using. Maybe they stick with the book. In that case, they're casting on me, but then that's okay because I'm already closing the gap. So, because I heard the book, I could go all in and rush the room. And again, this is where the speed, having the additional speed of the light armor, really helps catch casters off guard.
Get the shots in while I can.
And that was it. Because I got my initial burst damage, that cleric was totally on their heels, and I was able to pressure with melee. At first, I was a bit shocked at how much damage that judgment did, so it's telling me that this is a high will caster cleric. So I'm really glad I chose to close the gap. Bit of a faux pas here, where I decided to loot before healing up. Typically, I'm a little more disciplined, but I think I was excited to get my second kill with the kit and wanted to take a look. So after that second kill, I think I decided to just reset, bank the heals, bank some of the gear, and go again. Okay, for the third drop, it looks like I'm in the bottom left of the map, in the cave tunnels. And that means, again, this is the original Goblin Caves. The original Normals Goblin Caves layout. So my first order of business is to clear the mobs, turn out some lights, and just get ready in case someone decides to peek in this room and start any PvP. so I wasn't pushed, and as I open this door, I see the goblins are up, so no one has come this way. A bit more of a slower start to this map, which is nice. So as I'm coming into the cave hideout, I actually spot a rogue here. From what I can tell, it looks like a poison damage rogue, a kiting rogue.
What are you doing? Turn all the lanterns off.
Says the rogue. I decided to push him a little bit to see if I could back him into a closed door or some space where he'd have to engage me. Okay, I'll pause it there. So I push him back through the module, through an open door, and I get to a stage where he wants to pull me onto the catwalk. He wants to pull me onto a long, straight surface where I am not able to use cover. And, you know, he's really eager to use his hand crossbow. So I decide not to humor him, and instead I pull back, and I want to put a few obstacles between me and him. I get hit by that crossbow shot, and it actually does a lot of damage. It does more damage than I thought it would. And so this gives me a bit of concern. Okay, I'll pause it there. So I'm trying to use my shield. It looks like he wants to try some melee. He's got his stiletto loaded up. I didn't want to make the first move and invite the hit, because I figured as soon as he hits me, he's just going to turn and run again. So I'm trying to bait the attack. It looks like I spaced him well enough to get a headshot in, and he didn't like that. I do more damage maybe than he expects, or he's just not happy taking any damage, and so he decides to start running again. It gives me a chance to fully heal. And now I'm also in darkness, which is nice. Okay, I'll pause it there. So, that's his first mistake. He doesn't like the fact that I'm in darkness. He has to take his mind off of attacking to remedy the darkness first. So he switches to his torch, he throws his torch. That gives me a chance to come at him. And as he's retreating and closing the door, I'm able to close the gap faster than he expects, get in the door, and actually land some hits. Had I been a bit faster, or had I played slightly better, I probably could have dropped him here. But he's fast, and he got away. I was reluctant to jump down. I know he's hurt, but I don't want to jump down onto that lower level. I see those two goblins there. I don't want to be between him and the goblin mobs. I know I have my second wind. I know I was at full health. I didn't want... Again, this is the kind of like high roller gear fear that I talked about. I just don't play as aggressively. And in hindsight, I probably should have pushed him there. But because, you know, I just feel like I've got my best stuff, I don't take those chances. And maybe that's to my detriment here. So I let him get away.
Probably gotta go upstairs.
And sadly, that's the last we see of that guy. I hear him take a portal later. So I guess he just had enough of my playstyle and decided to not engage. We'll jump ahead a bit further. We're towards the end of the match, and I'm trying to choose an approach on the final circle. I can hear footsteps. They're light boots, but I have no idea what that means. The steps are around the corner, so I peek out to get a look, and it's a barbarian. At this point, I'm a bit weirded out that he's not rushing at me. I figure it's because he's either got a lot of treasure, or I'm not sure what's going on, because barbs usually don't do this. So I take a second to drop a prot. And so now I figure he's just trying to wait out my protection potion. And I think I hear something else, and yes. So I'll pause it here. I'm not sure if these two were teaming. It sure seemed like there was some conspiring going on, because barbarians typically don't do the bait play like that. So now it's my job to chase down this other person and then figure out what to do with the barb. So sprinting after him, tag him once, he jumps away, and now I got the barb kind of where I want him. Put him in the door. Put him in the door.
He's running. Fought him off.
So I fought him off. I'm going to pause it. That was good. I was happy about that. I was happy that I had enough awareness to know that if I turned, I could keep the barbarian in the door, at least for the first bit of combat. I'm still getting used to kind of the mechanics of body blocking and feeling comfortable not making a bunch of micro movements. I think to effectively body block, you have to stand still, and I didn't do that. So the barb was able to kind of wiggle past, but my blocking was good. I looked up enough. I could get my shield into the handle of his felling axe. I took a hit. Yeah, I took one hit, I think. Only one. And it didn't absolutely crush me, which was also encouraging to see. But good blocking, good counterattacking, and I obviously did enough damage to that barb that he decided to run. So there's no way I'm going to jump down into that pit this late in the map. Instead, I decided to focus on getting out. Just gotta clear a few mobs, and the portal is here for my taking. A little bit of looting first. And home we go. It looks like that teaming fighter made it back up top, but he didn't really have anything good.
You're dead meat. Enjoy your death, teamer.
I'm not gonna lie, there's a little bit of satisfaction in watching this guy die to storm.
It's okay, you didn't have anything anyway.
Okay, on to the next one. So we drop in to the bottom of the Stone Graves module. And this is one of the alternate configurations of the Goblin Caves map. I'm not totally familiar with which one this is, but I'm happy to be in the Stone Graves module. I'm familiar with this module, and I like fighting in this one. So I decided to kind of stay put. I'm listening. And here I decided to push out into the Goblin Mine, just to see if I can see if anyone spawned here or hear anything. And it looks good. Looks clear. I'll skip ahead a bit. So definitely a strong personal preference of mine is to fight along the back wall here in this big room. It's so nice to have one whole flank basically safe. Like, it really reduces the amount of places that enemies can come from. I like how dark the back wall is. I have a lot of visibility out, but other people don't have a lot of visibility in my direction. I can hear a bat in the next room, So now I'm happy with my position. I've got darkness behind me. I decide to wait here to see what happens. I can't decide if I want the light on or off. Having the light on makes the corner less suspicious.
He's distracted by the mob. Turn this off.
But then I hear footsteps behind me,
Barb is behind.
and I realize it's a barbarian. It's the quarterstaff barbarian. He knows I'm here, and he's pushing.
Comes. Oops. Run away. Second wind.
So I'll pause it there. That's one of the downsides of playing in the dark, is it's hard. It's hard to play in the dark. Also, I'm not super confident blocking the quarterstaff. It's got kind of a strange attack pattern, like a diagonal top first attack, and then 2 horizontal swipes that are really hard to read and really hard to actually block. So this was the first real test of my blocking, and you can see there I took a bunch of initial hits. So I used my sprint to get away, give myself some time to second wind, and try to find a little more favorable space to fight this guy where I can see his attacks better.
Third one. Oh. Second one.
Okay, I'll pause it again here. So I found a bit of a rhythm. I was able to block a couple of attacks, got a couple of counters in, but then slipped up again and just kept getting hit. Thankfully, the quarterstaff doesn't deal a ton of damage, so I was able to tank a few of those extra shots that hit me. At this point, I'm feeling pretty unconfident. Shit. And here comes the mob. Could deal with the mob quick, thankfully. And then I really don't mind pushing into Franny axes. That's a bit more comfortable for me. Shit. My hands are shaking at this point, so I'm having a hard time queuing up my potions. This is easier. Oh. Wow. Okay, I'll pause it there. Thankfully, this barbarian decided to switch things up and go for the Viking sword. I don't know why they decided to do that, but it was definitely to my advantage. I find it so much easier to block overhead attacks, particularly from weapons that only have overhead attacks. So I know in my head the Viking sword can only come at me from above, and it's just so steady in its rhythm, and it's so predictable that I was way more, even though my health was low, way more confident being able to block those shots and counterattack. So thank goodness they decided to do that, or else I think if they had stuck with the quarterstaff, I probably would have died here, or I would have been in a lot more trouble. Okay. So now I'm trying to rest, recover my second wind. It's not the best place for a campfire, but I figure it's better than anywhere else at this stage. I just need to kind of get my health back, try to get my second wind back.
Bad spot here, but no choice.
And I'm rolling the dice. I could hear some looting.
Someone's coming, I think.
I got my second wind back, which was good.
See if they go to loot the barb. Maybe they didn't hear me.
And surprise, the warlock is right there. At this stage, I'm not sure if he can see me.
Okay, be careful now. Third one.
Yep.
Heal up.
Whoa, the dark reflection. Okay, I'll pause it there. Too bad, so sad. I made a couple of critical errors in that fight that cost me my kit. I'm going to wind it back and we'll watch it again because it's very obvious in hindsight what my mistakes were. Very obvious. Here we go. I'm going to wind it back. So I'll bring it back to where he's looting the chest. At this stage, I have no idea if he knows I'm here. It would be great if he doesn't, but I have to assume he does, and he's just kind of being cheeky. Even if he doesn't know I'm here, I gotta play like he does because I don't want to get surprised by him. That said, my first major mistake here was going straight for him and not blocking. There. Pause it there. Because I attack first, I'm not blocking. I'm vulnerable to being attacked. If I was smart, I would have rushed him, baited his attack, and either spaced him or blocked him. But because I went for the first hit, it meant I was open and he was able to hit me back. And boy, did he hurt. So had I played that a bit smarter and baited his attack to either block or space, I probably would have started this fight on the front foot instead of on my heels. Okay, be careful now. So I second wind. He's got his BOC.
Third one.
Yep, I'll pause it again. So that BOC is dangerous, but because he seems fully committed to his combo, I know the third attack from the falchion is one of those really nice overhead attacks. And when I see that animation start up, I know here's my chance to block the attack, get rid of BOC, and I go for it. From here, he's kind of like thrown off. I'm thrown off. We have a bit of a reset here. Okay, right there was the third major mistake. We reset combat, we're going again. He charges up BOC. I've got my throwing axes. I hit him with a throwing axe. I decide, I wrongly decide to stop throwing axes. I wrongly decide to go back in for melee. Had I thrown another axe, probably would have won. Had I spaced and ran, look, my sprint is up. I probably could have evaded his BOC and would have won the fight. But instead, I think I was maybe overconfident or just too hyper-focused on my blocking first playstyle. I forgot about spacing. I forgot about tactical retreats. I figured I could block his falchion, counterattack for victory. And instead I missed my block, and my attack actually kills me because he has Dark Reflection, which deals damage to me when he takes melee damage. And because I got chunked down, that was enough to kill me. Whoa! The Dark Reflection. I should have blocked that shot. I should have turned more. Now, interestingly enough, he also dies. So my attack was enough to kill him. Did he die too? He died too. So my attack was enough to kill him. He was that low, but we traded, basically.
GG, man. Oh, if only I'd blocked that shot.
The other thing I'll say is that my block there, I'm still getting used to how far I have to turn my camera. Even with the big heater shield, I really have to turn my camera for those side attacks. The overheads, I know, I'm confident enough to really crank my mouse up. But for the attacks that come from the side, I have to get equally as confident in turning my mouse all the way to the left or the right to fully block those side-swiping attacks.
Okay, not bad. Not bad for a pretty sweet kit.
Yeah, that's it for the kit. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope there was something interesting there. It was really nice to put my skills to the test, load up with good gear, and see how fast I could swing, see how fast I could counterattack with almost 40 dexterity. It was a lot of fun. I've never really done that before, and I look forward to, maybe I'll do this on a weekly basis. I'll load up on a kit, see how far I can go, and do some combat analysis. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.